Folks, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is coming out in just a few more days. I have put about 10 hours into it. I thought now would be a good time to give some early impressions before I do a full review on the game once I beat it. So let's talk about it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. Of course, got this game early. Been playing it, been really enjoying it, and I just wanted to do a video kind of giving my thoughts on it. Reviews are already out. I think the game, it's sitting at like high 80s on Metacritic, which is really good. I'm not sure what the first game, this one, ranked at when this came out back in 2017. But reviews for this one are definitely better. People seem more positive. I think people are just more accepting of the idea of a Mario plus Rabbids kind of crossover game. I remember when this one first was leaked back in 2016, people were like, what the hell? No one wants that. And then it turned out to be a pretty damn good game. I think it's more of a sleeper hit. I think, I know people that have played it and loved it, and people that have played it and just thought it was okay. I actually really liked it. I didn't quite 100% it. I struggled with some of the like early challenges, or not early challenge, the late game challenge. Like I think they're like ultimate missions or something. And then the DK Adventure DLC was great. So when Ubisoft announced Sparks of Hope last year, I got very excited. You know, it just was logical that they would do a sequel, expanding upon everything they learned from the first game, all the feedback, and just make a really solid sequel. 10 hours into the game, I'm about halfway through World 3 now, or maybe a little less than halfway through World 3. I think there's 5 worlds. Don't hold me on that. It's better than the original in every way. They have completely. It's like, I'm trying to think of like a good example of like it's like a perfect sequel. They have done everything better. And I'll tell you right now, the main thing that I was worried about going into this game was the change in how the combat is kind of, it's done. The first game is very tactics. I mean, they're both tactics games, obviously, but the first game is more Fire Emblem, where you have the tile grid-based system, right? And it's kind of straightforward in that way. Sparks of Hope adds this new, like, kind of dynamic circular area of tactical movement that you can do, and it doesn't really change it that much, like at a core level, but it makes the game feel so much smoother. It makes it feel so much more fluid. It just makes everything feel better. I feel like it gives you a little bit more options. You know, if you can just, because you do team jumps a lot, kind of like a sky thing where you jump on top of another teammate and you fly around to get further distance. Now, instead of being on a grid, you just have to inch, you know, a little bit into their circle so you can reach and then do that. It adds more options, and it just makes the game flow a lot better. So right off the bat, the movement and just the gameplay of the core tactics gameplay is off the charts way better than the first game. And I love the first game, but it's a lot better. And the additions they've made to your abilities and how they've restructured the balancing, bro, oh my goodness, they popped off. They actually popped off with this game. So a big addition to this game is the Sparks, which are the Rabbid Lumas. Right now, at the point I'm at, I don't know if you'll get more options later. At the point I'm at, I have 2 Sparks equipped to each character. I have 4 playable characters at once. I think the limit in the first game was 3, right? And, well, let's talk about these Sparks. So the Sparks basically give you buffs, usually pertaining to a specific element. Usually they do a specific thing in terms of increasing damage from your next attack, or a status ailment, or sometimes they'll do like an area of damage. I have this one like Poison Luma Rabbid Spark who just damages people with poison in a big range. These Sparks add so much to the game, and there are so many more of them than I expected. I was pretty blind on this game in terms of preview coverage. I watched the trailers from the directs and all that, but that's about it. There are so many Sparks in this game. There are so many optional Sparks. It makes exploring, which we'll talk about, it makes exploring and finding them all so rewarding because you want to get them because they're all really cool. Now, one thing I will say is there's so many of them, it's a little bit overwhelming. I can't, obviously, you can't use all of them at once, and you want to keep using them and upgrading them because you can use star bits from Galaxy to upgrade them and make them do more, you know, percentage of damage or whatever the case is. It is a little bit much, I think, at times, because I want to use all of them, but I think that just goes to show how good the variety is. It really makes you want to experiment and try all these different Sparks, and having 4 playable characters now on this new tactical, like, grid, not grid, area of movement, circular area of movement battles, it's really damn good. It's really good. Of course, you still have your regular ability, like your special ability. You know, Luigi still has like the Steely Stare, or maybe that's Mario. I can't remember. They do have, you know, like the ability where if they see an enemy move, they immediately shoot them. Like, you still have that, and you have like these points, so you can do, you know, there's a lot of tactics, kind of strategy involved here too, which is funny because, you know, Mario kids game, Mario Rabbids kids game. You know, you have, I think this is probably something I'll be able to increase later on, I'm guessing, but right now I have 2 tactics points basically per character per turn. So you can either choose essentially to use a spark and shoot, or use your main ability and shoot, or attack, I should say, because not everything's necessarily a gun. Or if you really want to be weird with it, you can just use a spark and your main ability and not attack at all. So there's a lot of layers of depth here that I think a lot of people weren't expecting it from this game. I've been preaching about this game's a little weird amount of depth for years. This game has even more. Sparks of Hope is pretty deep, and I'm only 10 hours in. I'm assuming I know there's other playable characters I don't have yet. I know, you know, just based on how continuously they've been giving me more options in my gameplay, I'm assuming they're gonna keep adding more to it. And but it all feels really simple. It's not too complex. I said the sparks are overwhelming, but the actual combat, it's not overwhelming at all. It feels so fluid. It feels so easy to get into. The sparks thing was more so just like there's so many of them, I just want to use them all. Not necessarily I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do kind of feeling, you know? So the combat is fantastic. I really have to applaud them for that. They've made it, it's just simply better, and it's just more engaging every time you play. They've also added a lot of difficulty options. I'm just playing on normal, plain Jane normal. You can play on easy, you can play on hard. There's an option where you can just be invincible or invulnerable if you want to, which I actually appreciate that. Good accessibility options. You know, I think Mario games, maybe the audience doesn't necessarily overlap with like a tactic style of gameplay, so I can respect them for adding that if you just want to do the exploration stuff, which is what we're going to talk about now. Oh my goodness, they blew it out of the park. The exploration in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the first game, was the worst part of the game. And I still enjoyed it. It was still okay. But I have to say, I think this is crazy. I almost enjoy exploring the worlds in this game more than the combat. Not quite. I'm not going to say that, you know, full force yet until my full review. But exploring and finding, you know, puzzles and taking out the little overworld enemies and talking to the residents of these areas and solving their issues, doing the little fishy mini game. It is so rewarding to explore, and it's just a lot of fun. And these worlds are very well realized. They're really very well designed. It doesn't feel tedious really ever exploring. There was one point at the end of World 2 where I was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of, there's like a hedge maze and I gotta like stealth through here. I don't know if I want to do this, but outside of that, for the most part, exploring is just fantastic. I really enjoy it. And that's helped by the fact that now the currency system has been completely overhauled. The weapon structure and how you buy weapons and all this has been completely overhauled. So in the first game, you had different weapons that actually had stats. That is gone. Unless they add it halfway through the game, more than halfway through the game, okay. But right now, that's completely gone. Instead, you have weapon skins, and I mean, that's fine. You can just have cool skins for your weapon. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to add power to it or anything like that, and that's nice. But because of the sparks and all that, you're going to have, you know, different layers of depth anyway. So the sparks basically took the place of different weapons with different stats. But on each world of the 5, I'm pretty sure there is, maybe there's like a bonus 6, who knows. Of the 5 worlds, you get, it's almost like Mario Odyssey, where each world has its own currency. And you get that currency by doing side quests and helping other people and taking down other enemies and doing all these things, puzzles in the overworld. So each world has its own currency, which you know, encourages you to explore on that world, and then you use that currency to buy the weapon skins and buy memories, which are kind of like data logs. It doesn't really matter, but mostly those weapon skins. And then there's also like each world has like a key, which you have to buy. It's usually pretty expensive, which leads to like a Captain Toad style kind of puzzle, which is really cool. So having each world have its own currency really adds to this idea that, you know, each world is separate because you're going through the cosmos, obviously, but also it just really incentivizes you to do everything in each world. I think I did like 85% of the first area, the beach world, and then the second world, the ice world, I kind of slacked on a little bit. I think I have like 50% done on that world, and then the further world I'm obviously still going through. So really like that change. I'm glad they, you know, because I have the gold edition here. It comes with the the Galactic Prestige Collection. I'll show it here. And based on the first game season pass, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like an OP weapon from the start. Well, first of all, no, because since I got the game early, I can't even put the code in yet. But since it's just a skin, you know, you can't really get overpowered from the very start. Let's talk about something negative, though. Maybe negative. I'm not really sure quite how I'm landing on it just yet. So, in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the first game, the world was very designed. How do I put this? Basically, the environments that you battle in were in the world. So there was never a room for them to add like not random encounters, but like you know what I mean. Like you didn't like load into a battle. You basically walk into an area and then the battle started, and it was very seamless, and that was kind of cool. It was cool seeing the battles and everything you're doing kind of take place in the world, and then you can move through that world freely after you do the battle. In this game, they got rid of that completely. You load into battle now. You come into a thing, you press ZR or whatever, and you load into the battle, and there's a loading screen, and then it looks obviously it's based off the world you're in, but it does look different than where you were. That's cool. I'm fine with that. But because of this allowed them to add overworld encounters like a Dragon Quest type of thing almost. Or I don't even know if Dragon Quest 11 has overworld encounters. But it has overworld encounters where you will walk past an enemy, they will run at you. If they hit you, the battle will start, which allows them, I feel like, to kind of artificially inflate how things are going here and inflate the length of the game. I really respected how Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle was just point blank. You get to that area, you're good. There's obviously side areas with side content, but for the most part, that's it. You're not doing battles that feel kind of meaningless. In this game, only 10 hours in, but I will say sometimes I'm trying to get from point A to point B or go do the side quest or something, and then an enemy will run at me, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to fight this. Now you can flee, you can just run away, but it's at that point, since you do level up, and I don't want to feel like I'm missing out, so I do the battle anyway. But you can flee, to be fair. But having enemies running around the overworld, and they respawn too. That's the thing. They respawn every time you load in, which kind of sucks. If it was at least to the point where they were gone permanently, sure, that'd be fine. But no, they respawn, and there's a specific type of quest that they do a couple times already. They've already done a couple times, I should say, and that is you'll walk up to a rabbit and he'll be like, hey, can you take out 3 of these fire-looking shy guy dudes, flame dudes? And you're like, okay, and then you get the little currency from the world. It's a side quest, so you go do that, and this has happened to me twice now on both worlds, where I don't really know if I did it right, to be completely honest. So let's just use the beach world as an example. So the guy asks you to hunt 3 bob-ombs, and you have to kill 3 bob-ombs, which means in the overworld, go to a bob-omb, slide into it or attack it, whatever, and then do a battle, and then do that 3 times. I could find 2 bob-ombs. I could not find the 3rd. So I don't know if there was a 3rd bob-omb around somewhere that was just hidden. I couldn't find it. But what I learned is that if you go into a house or something and then come back, the enemies reload. And then you can just fight them again, and it counts as the 3rd. I don't feel like that's how that was supposed to be designed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's how they intended you to do it. I don't know. It feels a little iffy, though. So that's a little weird. I'm not sure how I feel about the overworld enemies. That's probably my biggest honest downside on this game, and that's not that big of a deal. Trust me. So yeah, I think overall, I mean, this game is just fantastic. Now, they did give the Rabbids voice acting. They did do that. And they gave like Beepo voice acting and all this, and I don't really know why, to be completely honest. I don't think it was that necessary. Mario plus Rabbids, had like the grunts and the rabbit noises, but it didn't have, Rabbid Peach says #winning when you win a battle. A little bit much, but Mario plus Rabbids is such an insane concept to begin with that I kind of just embrace it at this point. But I can totally see someone playing this game and seeing and hearing Rabbid Peach or Rabbid Rosalina talking, and they're just like, what the hell is this? Or even the other ones. Rabbid Luigi's pretty funny. I like his little clips. Rabbid Mario is a bit much, but it's still funny. It is so over the top that it is funny hearing them talk. And then the other characters like Beepo and voice acting, I mean, that's fine. But it is a little jarring when, Mario and Peach and Luigi, they aren't talking. So it's just a little weird. But, yeah. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, absolutely fantastic so far. I am excited to beat the game and do a 4v for you guys and gals. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for this game coming out this weekend? Of course, next week Bayonetta 3 comes out. I will have videos on that hopefully soon. Shit, all I'm saying is that might be happening sooner than you think. So gonna be playing this for the next 3 days to beat it and then do that video. Maybe some other content if I can think of something. Grinding out these sparks. Obviously, they're doing paid DLC, of course, with the Rayman. That's going to be super exciting next year, as well as other like challenge DLC, I think, is what they did for the first game. So I'm assuming that's what they'll do here. So that's my early thoughts on Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below. Are you excited to pick it up on Friday? Have you been watching all the preview coverage? Are you excited? Just let me know, please. Also, let me know if you like the first game, because I feel like I'm kind of alone in this. I feel like that's a sleeper hit, you know? And I feel like this is another sleeper hit. I have not seen anybody really talking about this game outside of the reviews coming out yesterday, so with that said, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter, @BoTalksMedia. Subscribe here for more Nintendo coverage, and join my Discord. That is linked down below. Until next time, folks, peace.